Hi, my name's Tyler. Whoa. I started Salt and Straw ice cream with my cousin about 3 years ago, and I make all of the ice cream. I wanted to sit down. I wanted to kind of focus on with you guys today a little story I call the story of the disappearing caramel. And I think this is really important. It's an important story, and it's one I've never told before, but it's important because it shows that we had really no idea what we were doing when we first started our company. And, you know, I knew how to burn sugar, and I knew how to put salt in cream. But other than that, we were just kind of winging it, and a lot of times it didn't work. And so we pour it in these little 3-gallon buckets, and I envision every single time you scoop through this bucket, whoever's serving the ice cream should be able to close their eyes and scoop through, and they get the perfect scoop. It should look like this. And basically in every single 3-gallon bucket, there's 90 scoops. And so we're pouring in this caramel, and we rib it in really, really slowly. And as we're ribbing in, I want to make sure that the caramel is getting in 90 times over into the perfect layers, right? And it was working, I think. It was really delicious. I loved this flavor when I first made it. But the problem was that, so we freeze this ice cream overnight, and I come back to it the next day, and there was no caramel in the ice cream. I was scooping through it, and so we tried it again, and I put it in the freezer, and came back to it, and there was still no caramel, and so I tried it again, and there was still no caramel. And I started believing that, the caramel was somehow melting in, and somehow, it was possessed, and, it was this ghost caramel. And so we really focused in, I really didn't know what to do, honestly. There's another slide, and I'll let this go one more time. But the point is, I think when I was making this, I was really stubborn because I loved this flavor, and I thought it was going to be a winner. And I don't know how many people believed me, but I knew this was my favorite thing I'd ever had. And so I started actually lining the insides of the buckets with caramel, and then freezing them, and then filling those filling those caramel-lined buckets with sea salt ice cream. And then I talked to all of the servers, and I told them, okay, when you serve this ice cream, you don't serve it don't close your eyes. That was a lofty vision. Don't do it whatsoever. Actually scoop around in circles, and we're gonna mimic this idea of ribbons, and you still get the perfect scoop. It still looks pretty good, and it worked for a little while. I think there's something important here, and I'm not going to go too far into depth, but I think the point is that we changed the rules on how to scoop ice cream purely for this one flavor, and there's a lesson there, and like I said, I'm not going to go too far into it, because actually the real hero in this whole story is a guy named David Briggs. He's a chocolatier here in town, and somehow we became really good friends with him. We sell all of his chocolates in our shops, and he's honestly, in my opinion, one of the legends of the Portland food scene. And he actually came in with me and worked in the kitchen with me, and he sat down every day, and we tried new recipes of caramel, and he taught me everything I know about caramel. And so we froze it overnight, and he came back, and it still didn't work, and we tried it again, and finally it started to get better. And that was, 2.5 years ago. And we're getting better and better. So this is actually a picture of the kitchen now we're working in. We've got about 120 employees, and we're making hundreds and hundreds of buckets of the sea salt caramel every single day. And I think the recipe is literally changing every single day. I think it's getting better. But it's kind of fun to think about. David just looking at me like, you idiot, what are you thinking? And me just being like, I dropped out of culinary school too early, I don't know. So I believe this is beyond collaboration. This is actually learning really deeply. And I think we've gotten amazing feedback. My favorite is that someone once said it's like going to Salt and Straw is like the cheat sheet to Portland's food world, and I'm really honored by that. But the fact is, when I was in school, my professor always told me, your goal isn't to create something new; it's always to build on the shoulders of titans. And I think what we're really lucky about here in Portland is that we have like this whole world in the food scene of titans, and I get to work with them every single day. And if I want to make a chocolate ice cream, I can go to a chocolatier who's around chocolate 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and they can help me create this perfect ice cream. Or if I want to make a beer ice cream, I can go into the breweries and actually sit down with them and learn how to create this beer, the flavor of the beer, not actually just pour beer into ice cream, but actually create the flavor of the beer in cream. And it's actually fun because it's gone backward. It's gone backwards. This is actually a beer ice cream an ice cream beer that we made recently. So I think it's I don't know. It's just kind of cool, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit of story about Portland in general. And today you're eating this ice cream, and I hope you'll notice that it's actually got some ribbons of caramel in it. It took a lot, so thank you guys.